and welcome to another booktube video from me, Lauren, from Lauren and the Books. I hope you're all having a lovely Sunday. Lovely Sunday. Got a new dress on. It's from Joni. Isn't it lovely? Just so stripy and nice and fun. Today I'm doing slightly earlier than I would normally do this. I would normally do this video in June, but I'll get onto more of this later, but I feel like I've really hit a creative wall at the moment. I put something on Instagram yesterday about this, and I was thinking about, like, I can't think of ideas for videos, or if I'm doing a video I think, oh, that's not as good as it could be, etc, etc. One video I really enjoy filming and I'd already made notes for was my reading goals check-in video. So normally I would do this sort of halfway through the year. I make some reading resolutions in January, talking about my reading plans for the year and talking about my channel plans for the year, I would normally check in on these halfway through the year in June, but I thought, why not check in now? It's May, it's almost June, and it's unprecedented times, isn't it, guys? We can do whatever we want. So I'm going to be checking in on my reading goals. If you want to go and watch my original reading goals video, I will link it down below. Don't feel like you have to, because I'm going to go through them here in this video, but that's just if you want to have a look at what I was looking like then. I think I might have had purple hair then. Pre-quarantine, definitely didn't have these roots. Right, so let's start with the reading resolution. So my number one reading resolution for 2020 was that I was going to chill with my reading. So that involved not setting a Goodreads goal, although I set a Goodreads goal of one book so I could use it to keep track of the reading that I've been doing. Set a Goodreads goal of only reading one book at a time where possible, because that's when my reading is really at its best. I take in books more when I do that. And yeah, for in terms of like chilling, I would say that, yeah, I have continued to do that. So yeah, only set my Goodreads goal at one. I think I'm on like 61 books so far this year, which is pretty, I mean, when you haven't got a goal set, that's pretty good, isn't it? And one book at a time. So I had been doing this, I really had, but this week that I'm filming this, I just, David and I have just filmed something called the Book versus Film Challenge, whereby David would watch the film of a book that I was currently reading. We'd sit on the sofa and do that at the same time and see who finished first. So I had a sort of bit of an overhang from a few of those. So I did have a few books on the go at that time. However, I'm now down to 2 books on the go, a non-fiction book and a reading book that I've got on the go now, and then a fiction audiobook. So yeah, that is 3 books on the go, but I feel like I've been definitely devoting more time to sort of like reading one book and then starting on the next one, which is more chill for me, and I think I read better that way. So although at the moment that's not happening, I have been doing that. The next one was to use the library more. So actually, I have been using the library more up until the point when this lockdown happened. So here in the UK, when I'm filming this, we are currently on sort of, well, we're on our way out of lockdown, but basically a lot of places are closed, including libraries. But earlier on this year, I actually joined another library. So the county that I lived in, I'm already a member of their library, but where I work, there is another county council, and I joined the library near the hospital that I work at. So a couple of lunchtimes I've walked down to the library, got some books out, etc, etc. So I'm now a member of 2 libraries, which is lovely because it means double the sort of range, and I'm able to sort of get reservations. If they haven't got a book in one library, I can look at the other library and see if they've got that. So very much enjoyed using the library more, and definitely have been using the library more. And actually, just before all of this happened, you were able to get out as many books, well, not as many books as you want, but like a lot of books whilst this lockdown's on. So I've got a whole massive shelf of library books down here, which is lovely, which is sad because the libraries are closed and I'm actually gradually getting through these, but I've got a whole shelf of library books down here which are mine for the foreseeable future. I think they've all been renewed to sort of like July or August. I'm not sure when the libraries are planning to open. However, I will say one of my libraries called me and said, oh, you had a book on reservation, did you want us to deliver it to you? And I was like, that would be amazing. I couldn't remember what book it was, and it was Illegible by Curtis Sittingfield, which I'm doing a Pride and Prejudice readathon. Well, that's what I'm reading next month, and I've actually already bought that book. So I was like, well, that would have been really kind, but I've actually already bought that book, so don't worry. So one of my libraries is doing like their best to sort of get books to people still, which is amazing. I don't know if that's gonna sort of open up so that if you can put reservations on, they'll deliver. That was a reservation that I had pending from before the libraries closed. But yeah, I've definitely been using libraries more. I've done a library haul earlier this year when I went to the library that I joined. I got loads of books out, which I've still got a lot of them down there now. I'm looking down here now because that's where they are. And did a big library haul, which I'll link down below if you'd like to have a look. But yeah, definitely been enjoying using the library more, so well done me. Another reading resolution was that I wanted to revisit some of my favourite books I've read of audiobooks. And I've done that with, so I mentioned 4 books in that video, and I've actually done 2 of them. So I've re-listened to Queenie. So I read Queenie last year, absolutely loved it, thought it was one of my favourite books ever, and I've re-listened to it earlier this year. And I've also done that with Heart's Invisible Furies, which is another book that I read last year, one of my favourite books from last year. I've listened to the audiobook of that. Both brilliant audiobooks, both well worth a listen. Heart's Invisible Furies in particular, because it's really long. It's something like 21 hours long, so you get a lot of bang for your buck if you're buying, like for one credit if you get it on Audible, etc. The 2 that I mentioned that I haven't listened to are Daisy Jones and the Six, which I've actually reread this year because it came up in one of my book clubs, but I haven't re-listened to that. And Lowborn, which is still another one that I do want to listen to, and maybe I'll get to that at some point in the second half of the year. Another thing I wanted to do was my Instagram book reviews. So over on Instagram, I'm at Lauren and the Books on Instagram. I'm doing this so that it appears. This is a reminder to future Lauren to put this in here. I've been doing sort of like on my Instagram stories, I've got little highlights on my Instagram homepage, which says which have got my book review. So I do like a little screenshot of the book with a star rating, and then I do a little sort of paragraph of chat afterwards, which I very much enjoy doing because it's another way that I really enjoy logging my reading. I used to have a book journal. When I first started doing booktubes, I had book journals and I would write down everything and things like that, and this is sort of like the more technologically advanced stage of that, and also fun for people who follow me on there, sort of get some book reviews, get some ideas. And it's always really nice whenever I post a little book review. I always get like 2 or 3 comments of people saying, oh, I really like this, or if you like this, you might like this. And so it's a really nice sort of current. It's really like up to date for people to keep up with what I'm reading, and I've very much been enjoying doing that. And as I said, I keep them as saved as highlights on my page, so I'll be able to go back and see what books I read this year. So I've been very much enjoying that, and if you want to go over on Instagram and give me a little follow, then that's going on over there. So those were my reading resolutions for 2020. So I feel like I'm doing quite well with those. Like I said, the overriding message was to be chill, and I feel like I have been being chill with my reading this year, which has been fun and cool. But my channel resolution, so it's a similar sort of vibe in that there was a lot of sort of chill resolutions here. The first one was to not have a schedule. So previously on this channel, I've had a schedule. Last year and maybe even the year before, I was uploading Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, and I did that for a whole year, and also uploaded on the 1st of each month my favourites, and I'd done that for a couple of years, and that was working very well for me. In terms of like getting things ready, scheduling things, and then maybe having a little bit of a time, or if I was going away somewhere, getting some videos filmed ahead of time, things like that. And that was working well for me. But I thought, sometimes I'd get, and I think, oh God, I haven't got a video ready for Wednesday. And I'd sort of just do like something a bit substandard, I guess, something I was unhappy with, and also it was a bit pressurized in that I think, oh, I have to get a video done, I have to get a video done. So this year I decided that I wouldn't have a schedule, and I would just upload as things went. Now at the beginning of the year I found this very, very helpful, and it was nice to sort of like upload, film a video that day and put it up that day rather than waiting for Wednesday, which is when the next day that I would upload or something like that. And at the beginning of the year when I had lots of ideas, and January is always a really good month for videos anyway, because you've got like reading resolutions, best books of the year, things that you're looking forward to, and that was going very well and I was enjoying it. However, since the lockdowns happened, and this is not new, for me, but like everybody seems to be in this situation, I sort of just hit a really creative wall. And in terms of making videos and things like that, I just keep thinking, oh, this isn't good enough. Or I look at my videos that I've put up, and literally it's like a cozy reading night TBR and a cozy reading night wrap up, cozy reading night TBR, cozy reading night wrap up, and I know you guys enjoy those, and I can see from the numbers that people are watching them, but I just feel like my creative juices are not flowing. They are congealed, let's say. Ooh, imagine congealed creative juices. So yeah, so I've hit a bit of a wall with sort of making videos and having ideas. And not only like making videos and having ideas, this weekend I'm filming a reading vlog, and I keep saying to myself, oh, this isn't as good as your last reading vlog, and I am not normally that person. I'm normally a really big champion for myself. So I've hit a bit of a creative wall, and I don't think not having a schedule is helping that. And I think not having a schedule isn't helping that. So I think I might go back to a schedule for June. I might make it a pretty like chillaxed schedule, maybe 2 videos a week or something like that. Another thing I'm noticing is because I work in a hospital, where there are patients who have COVID-19 or have coronavirus. So and I work with doctors who are treating those patients. So when I get home, one of the first things I do is take all my clothes off, get in the shower and wash everything. And then by the time that's happened, I'm in my pyjamas and I think, oh, I don't really want it. So I'm getting in my pyjamas at like 4:45 every single day that I'm working at the hospital. I'm doing 1 week on, 1 week at the hospital, 1 week at home. Yeah, and I'm just like, I don't feel like I'm prepared to film those videos once I've had a shower and everything like that. So I'm definitely noticing a pattern in my videos, in that videos are appearing at weekends and then sort of like an extra one maybe on the week that I'm working from home, because I don't have to have a shower as soon as I get in. Once I finish working for the day, I can sort of put a bit of makeup on and do this. And I don't need to put makeup on to do work, but to do videos, but I enjoy putting makeup on to do videos and dressing up in a nice new Joni dress. So yeah, I've sort of hit a bit of a blur with making videos and stuff. However, I've got a few plans in place. I'm gonna have a little sit down this afternoon and maybe just have a little make some ideas of videos that I want to make, and look back at some old videos and things like that. So I'm going to do that. And also later on in this here video, I'm going to be talking about some videos that I mentioned that I would make this year that I haven't been able to, and maybe have a look at those and see if they can be done in the next coming weeks. So yeah, not got a schedule, but probably going to go back to a schedule at some point, because I feel like that's quite helpful to me. The next one was take February off, and I did take February off. I took February off for the first time last year as a little break, because I do Vlogmas, which is a video which in December I basically do a video almost every day in December. So from the 1st of December till the last year I did it till the 27th of December, and then like take a little bit of time off before I start again in January. But I thought to myself last year, I'll just take February off. It's a shorter month, you can have a chill, you can let ideas come to you and things like that. And I did that this year, and that was really nice as well. It's nice to take a sort of month away from this, which, although I love making videos, it's nice to have a sort of like just a bit of distance from it. And it was it's always a lovely return when you've been off for a month. So yeah, I did do that again this year. Library hauls I've already mentioned. I've done one big library haul this year, and I probably would have done more library hauls if the libraries hadn't have closed. So I will link that library haul down below. TBR plan. So I had a few different things for TBR plans. So in March I had a plan where I was going to read the books as they come in. So as they come in from the publishers, I was going to read them instantly rather than sort of haul them, then put them on my shelf and then think about them. I was going to read books that weren't going to be out for the rest of the year and things like that. Then March sort of happened in terms of coronavirus and things like that, and that hasn't ended up happening because there's less books coming out from publishers. I do have an e-reader, but I don't know where it is. I think it might be in the storage, and we can't currently get in the storage. I haven't been reading books that have been coming in from the publishers, because just not many have been coming in, and I don't have an e-reader to get sort of galleys and things like that. Another TBR plan I've got though is one that is going ahead, and that's next month. In June I'm doing Pride and Prejudice, where I'm reading books that are inspired by retellings of. There is such a cute dog outside at the moment. It's like one of those, like, are they called Shar-Pei dogs, where they've got like all wrinkly faces? So cute. Yeah, so next month I'm going to be reading books to do with Pride and Prejudice, and I'm really looking forward to that. I've been collecting the books over the past sort of month, and well, before that even, and really looking forward to reading Pride and Prejudice. So some TBR plans are still going ahead. David's going to pick my TBR in July, I think, and then I think it's the Newts readathon in August. So I've got sort of TBRs planned for the next few months, which will be exciting. I said that my book content would be staying the same. Something that I have removed is my at the moment videos. So they were sort of like a mid-month check-in almost, where I talk about the book that I was reading at the moment, the last film that I'd watched, the last TV show I'd watched, what podcasts I've been listening to, because that was sort of like a sort of bonus. So I do a favourites video on the 1st of every month, but sometimes if things weren't my favourite, they weren't always making it to my they weren't always making it to my video, to my favourites video. So I started doing this like at the moment video. However, I feel like there's a lot of same going on, isn't there? Because a lot of my time spending, I'm listening to the same podcasts, I'm watching the same TV show. So I've shelved those for a while. Whether or not they'll come back, who knows? But that's definitely something that has gone. And my non-bookish content, now I made a whole sort of list of things that I wanted to do for my non-bookish content this year, and I don't think I've done any of them. So the first one was my alphabet series. Now I've been running an alphabet series on this channel for a few years now, and I don't think I've updated it in probably about a year, where I work my way through the alphabet talking about different subjects which are important to me, or I've got some experience in. So for example, A is for anxiety, B is for body positivity, C is for cruelty free, D is for dress sizes, E is for exercise, F is for fast fashion, and that's as far as I got. So I'm on G, and I just haven't had any sort of like glaring begins with a G, sort of glaring things that I want to make a video about, but that is sort of on the back burner. I'm always trying to think of things that maybe will fit in with that, and that will be the next video in that series when that happens. A cook-off. I did a cook-off with my friend Adam in Vlogmas last year. I'll link that down below. It's very Christmassy, but do feel free to go and check it out. I really enjoyed filming it, where we bought each other a bag of ingredients and swapped and did a little cook-off and had to make something off the cuff, and I really enjoyed doing that, and I had planned to do it again with Adam, which hasn't happened because of you're not allowed to see friends and things. But David and I were actually just talking about this morning, and as soon as we get the opportunity, because again the situation with supermarkets and things here isn't quite as easy as it used to be. You can't go in pairs. There's often quite a big long queue to get into to supermarkets, and we've been trying to visit shops as little as possible. But David and I are going to do a cook-off. We're going to do a little cook-off. Maybe we'll do it for a lunch or something like that. But yeah, we're going to do that. It'll be more chill than the one that I did with Adam. But yeah, we're going to do that at some point. So that will be upcoming, hopefully in the next few weeks. Tested vegan or vegetarian sandwiches. This was another thing I did in Vlogmas, where I tested a whole host of vegetarian and vegan Christmas sandwiches. We really enjoyed doing that. It was really fun, and like marking it up. I will link that video down below as well. And a few people had said, oh, I'd love to see that done. Now it's coming into like summertime now, so there's going to be some summer barbecue options coming up, I'm sure. And again, if we're able to sort of accommodate that with the rules that are around sort of shopping at the moment and going to shops, maybe we'll try and do a video like that where we're testing out some vegetarian and vegan barbecue food. Fast fashion. I wanted more videos on fast fashion. Now I have semi-filmed, this was sort of like last weekend, I semi-filmed a video where I was sort of fixing clothes and ironing clothes and answering some questions on fast fashion. I was really unhappy with how that video turned out. I was ever so hot on the day, and I was getting very frustrated and cross with myself, and I just felt like I was really stumbling over my words, and I've kept the footage. I haven't yet looked at it because I'm sure it's not as bad as I think it is, but I'm going to go back and have a look at that footage, see if what I can rescue from that, and see if I can make a video out of that with maybe adding some other bits on there. So there is a fast fashion video on the way, and also I've just got back to selling clothes on Depop, where I sell clothes that I've worn that no longer fit me or I no longer want to wear on Depop, and I've started buying some summer clothes from Depop as well, which is an app where you can buy secondhand clothes from other people, and I really like that app. And last year I did a video, it was part of my alphabet series actually, where I talked about fast fashion, and then I did a sort of like lookbook of clothes that I bought secondhand, and I'm going to do that again this year. So I've already started buying a few summery bits from Depop secondhand, and yeah, I'll be doing a summer lookbook of secondhand summer clothes that I've bought. So excited to do that. Guests was my next one. Can't have guests at the moment. The only guest I can have is David, and he has been appearing in some of my videos because of the situation in terms of like can't visit other people's houses and stuff. The weekend this all kicked off, I was due to go and visit Mercedes, and we were going to film a video together and things like that, and it just hasn't happened, which is a shame. And then the last thing that I mentioned was reading vlogs, which I have done a lot of, and as I said, I'm in the midst of filming one right now. Reading vlogs, I've been enjoying filming up until this most recent reading vlog, but I really like watching reading vlogs, so hopefully you guys enjoy watching them too. And then the last thing I've got mentioned on here was cozy reading night, and like that was to continue doing cozy reading night and things like that. And actually during the lockdown, that's something I've been super duper proud of, because as soon as this lockdown happened, I said that we were going to, until lockdown or quarantine or there was some sort of semblance of normality was back, I would be hosting a cozy reading night every other Friday night. So cozy reading night, if you're not familiar with it, is a night where I host a reading evening between the hours of 7 PM and 10 PM BST. where you just get books, you get snacks, you get cozy, you sit in a comfy chair, you sit in your garden, you sit on your sofa, and you just read for 3 hours. And I'm active on Instagram and Twitter throughout using the hashtag Cozy Reading Night. And I've run these, I think we're on like our 7th one now, I think the next one will be our 7th one. And I've really enjoyed hosting these, and I've sort of done something slightly different with them every time. So the first one was just your standard Cozy Reading Night, but I've done a bumper Cozy Reading Night where we did it from 6 to 11. I've done a Cozy Reading Night where David vlogged it for the night. I've done a Cozy Reading Morning. I did a Cozy Reading Night where we did a live hour in the middle on Instagram, and the Cozy Reading Night that is coming up this Friday, which is, oh God, I never know dates. What's the date today? I think it's the 24th, so 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th. I think it's the 29th of May. There's going to be a live show on Instagram halfway through. So Dave and I are going to do a live show from the comfort of our sofa, where we're going to talk all things Cozy Reading Night. So yeah, still got some plans coming up for those, because at the moment it doesn't feel like this is going away. So I'll be, there'll still be Cozy Reading Nights coming up, and it's been really, really nice. The first Cozy Reading Night, my God, I needed that so much. It was such a relief to sort of get back to something that felt normal. Even though sitting at home is something that we should all be doing at the moment, it felt normal to be doing that. It didn't feel like we were sort of adhering to government advice. It just felt like a normal Cozy Reading Night, which was lovely. So thank you if you've been joining in with those. It's been really, really lovely, and to see everyone joining in on Instagram and Twitter, and seeing people's TBRs and wrap-ups and vlogs on YouTube's been lovely. So that is the check-in on my reading resolutions and my channel resolutions. Sort of feel a bit better about things now, you know. Sometimes it's just good to just sort of talk these things out. So I think we're going to spend an hour or so now thinking about videos that I can make coming up. It's always lovely to have you here with me. Thanks so much, and I'll speak to you again soon.